Yorkers are siding with illegal street vendors and turning against law enforcement. Why does the city that claims to love justice side with criminals when it's convenient?
We got this lady hitting cars.
They're fat fucking Nazis! They're abducting people from their homes!
Well, on this 10 Minutes of Truth, we're digging into the New York City street vendor controversy and the double standard that has turned law enforcement into the enemy.
You're listening to Barrett and Baxa. Real stories, raw takes, and the slow, strange death of traditional media.
Well, Bob, you must have been away from the news just a little bit because you told me that you had heard nothing about what happened on Canal Street in New York.
That is true. Yes, I was away for the weekend and I wasn't told. I tried to keep up a little bit, but I have not heard about this. So I'm coming into this one cold, and I'm sure that
All right. You're aware of Canal Street, am I right?
I know
You've
Canal
been on
Street,
Canal
yeah.
Street. I mean, this is where everybody lays out all of their illegal knockoff wares and they sell it. It's basically illegal stuff and usually created by slave labor in other countries. So, you're buying something that was made by some child probably in, some third world country. But so we'll set it up because first a woman was out documenting in the days before this bust went down, documenting what is happening and how aggressive these people are against anyone who brings along a camera, and also what happens on Canal Street when Johnny Law does come calling from time to time.
This is Savannah Hernandez in New York City, and okay, my friends, I was just driving down the street, I was Ubering, and I saw this huge market of African migrants selling all of these bags along this sidewalk. The sidewalk was actually completely full of people, so I was like, okay, pull over, let me see what's going on. Now, I'm walking along this street, and the entire sidewalk was completely packed with people buying these Louis Vuitton bags, buying these YSL bags. Obviously, all of them are knockoffs. Now, I spoke to some of the migrants. They were telling me they're all from Senegal. And as I'm walking around, they all start grabbing their bags very quickly. Again, this entire block was filled with all of these bags, and they picked them all up very quickly. Within 2 minutes, they all started jumping in vehicles, running away. I was speaking to one of the migrants, and he ended up telling me that they don't have the license to sell these purses. It's illegal, and if the cops catch them, they will come and take away all of their products. Another thing that I noticed too, because I was filming, is these migrants, very similar to Paris, telling me that I can't film here.
Hey, you do the film here.
And that I wasn't allowed to be, using my camera.
Yeah, F that, man. That pisses me off. It really does. But
I'm going to have another example in just a moment of the aggressive, disdain for anyone with a camera out on a public street. You should be able to take your camera and videotape whatever you want, but they don't think so. But so that woman recorded this, just my understanding is just a couple of days before ICE moved in and took down Canal Street. That's the part that you haven't seen yet, Bob, and I want to show you that. But first of all, your reaction to what you see on Canal Street. Sort of describe it for people.
So, if people have heard the word Tribeca means triangle below Canal Street. So this is the Tribeca neighborhood of Manhattan, in lower Manhattan. And this has nothing to do with Trump. It has nothing to even do with ICE. This has been going on. I'm from New Jersey. I've been going to New York City my entire life. This has been a problem. Illegal street vendors have been around forever. Number one. Number two, blocking any sidewalk in Manhattan is illegal. There are processes you have to go through to get a special permit to set up on the sidewalk. That has been in place for many decades. Again, nothing to do with Trump. So it's a perfect example of how the left, New York is a Democrat city. Democrats have put laws on the books about blocking the sidewalk. But then when it turns into something politically that Democrats don't like, suddenly it's like, oh, well, yeah, we did pass the sidewalk blocking law, but that's not something we have to obey. No, that's not the way it works. You guys passed the law about blocking the sidewalk. So that needs to be enforced. You also have laws against selling fake counterfeit goods. That needs to be enforced. And neither of those things has anything to do with the current ICE situation or Donald Trump. The ICE situation is a completely separate issue that is tacked on to the end of these other laws that are being broken in this situation.
And if you want to talk about rights, I mean, you have the right to take your camera out on the streets of New York, especially in a tourist area like this, and shoot selfies, shoot videos, shoot whatever you want. But
Anything you
this
want.
is the way some of those people react to you doing that.
How much?
Yo, what's up? We don't do no fucking camera. Fuck the fucking
Hey,
camera.
hey, hey, hey,
You
hey,
heard?
hey.
Keep fucking pushing.
Hey,
You heard?
hey,
Get the fuck
hey.
out of here with that shit.
Hey,
Fuck
back
you
up,
with your
back
fucking
off,
camera.
back off.
I said, fuck you with your camera. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Who the fuck you work for, bitch ass nigga? Who the fuck you work for?
I mean, they've taken
Why
over
would
the
we let-
streets. They've taken over the streets.
Why would we let these people into our country? Explain to me how these people from Senegal are contributing to the United States. I mean, this infuriates me. If you come to me as an American and you say, look, Mr. American, I am from a country in Africa called Senegal where things are really bad. I would ask you humbly, I'm asking you to please allow me to come into your country because I love America. I want to assimilate into your culture, and I would love to become American so I can make a better life for my children and my grandchildren. You say that, and I'm like, F yeah, come on in, bro.
Yeah.
We love helping people like you. If you come to me and you're like, mother effer, I will come into your country and I will bring my culture and I'll say F American culture and I'm going to do what I want and I don't care about freedom of speech and I'm going to threaten you and be a law-breaking scumbag, then I don't want you in my country. This is the immigration argument just kind of summed up in one little encounter is this guy, and this is what we are talking about with immigration.
And we don't want them coming and telling us what we can do on our city streets. This is not his city streets. These are our city streets where we already have the right to do certain things. One of those certain things is to walk around with your camera and take pictures all you want, shoot video. You know, you see it all the time. People trying to harass somebody into stopping filming something, and then they call the cops, and the cops arrive and they say, no, that person actually has every right to stand out and shoot your business from the public sidewalk. And that's what they're coming to our country telling us, we're changing your rules. You can't do that anymore.
Changing our culture. Go to a heavily Muslim area and walk around as a woman and walk around in a bikini in a Muslim area and see what happens. And this is the problem. If you're an American woman, you can walk down the street in a bikini on every street in America. And men do not have the right to rape you because you're in a bikini. That's our culture. You can wear whatever you want as an American woman, and the rape laws still hold true. These people come from countries where if you're not wearing a full burqa, by definition, that means you're a prostitute, and men are allowed to touch you in any way they want.
So you saw already how you could call her a conservative woman reacts when she shows up and she sees all this, and it's a little bit surprising to her. You see how the reaction they get when cameras are taken out on these streets. So they're blocking our streets. They're selling illegal items that probably come from like slave labor, you know, sweatshops everywhere. And
they're not paying taxes.
They're not
clearly
paying any taxes. They are taking business away from the legitimate vendors that are on Canal Street. But this, Bob, is the reaction that ICE got when they came in to try and solve the problem.
Short ass motherfucker! Short ass motherfucker! You're ugly as shit too!
Now we got this guy yelling right at the police.
Shame!
Everyone's just yelling shame.
Hey, bro! That's right, don't look at me anymore!
Shame! Shame!
Oh,
Shame!
yeah.
Shame!
Oh,
Shame! Sorry, tough guy, I'm sorry. You must be real afraid right now.
I would love to know what exactly are you people on the left protesting? What is the problem that you are trying to stop? Because people are, I love the one lady, they're abducting people from their homes. Well, guess what? If I rob a bank and I come to my house, the police are going to come get me out of my house. They're not abducting me from my house. They're arresting me in my house because I broke the law. These people broke the law, And I'm not sure exactly what it is you're protesting. We've gone over this time and time again. If you don't want immigration laws to be in effect, we can have
Change the
that
law.
discussion. Change the law. We can talk about it. I would love to hear what is your, what is your solution?
And if you ask any of these people on the left if they would allow this on the front sidewalk in front of their house in,
Right.
wherever Wisconsin, no, they'd say, no, I don't want somebody coming and selling fake bags in front of my house. But these store owners all along Canal Street have to put up with it all the time. And the only thing these protesters on the left can say is that, no, you're kidnapping. No, they're not. They're cleaning up the streets. They're keeping violent men like the man that you saw in the video earlier. They're keeping guys like that off the streets, and that's what we voted for. All right, that's it. 10 minutes of truth where media bias meets reality.
Well, that's it for this episode of Barrett and Baxa. Like, subscribe, and do all that other stuff podcasts want you to do.